Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, today is a day that some of you may have been waiting for a while. It's my comparison video between the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus and the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE. These two tablets right here are both built off of the same frame, 12.4-inch screen, 10,000 milliamp battery, but there's a lot that divides them, including the price point. And I think it's important to talk about this because as much as I was very against the Tab S7 FE from the beginning at $600, now you can get it for less than $400 like I predicted back when I made the video, just in time for holiday season. There's also been a price drop on the Tab S7 Plus to about $699, so there's still about a $300, $250 price difference. And it's pretty substantial, but there's also a lot of things that the Tab S7 Plus can do that the Tab S7 FE can't. So we're going to talk about it in this video. I apologize in advance. This one gets fingerprints like the Dickens, and I can't keep cleaning it the whole time I'm trying to talk. So, sorry about that. This one, the Tab S7 Plus with this Mystic Bronze, just doesn't pick up the fingerprint. So take that one to the bank. Put that one in your notebook as well. We're going to dive in and take a look at these. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Please watch till the end because I'm putting a lot of work into this. I've been studying for days, and now we're going to talk about the two tablets. So let's get into it. So real quick, when it comes to the Tab S7 FE and the Tab S7 Plus, I want to talk about price. These prices are listed on Samsung, and they're $150 off right now with trade-in. You can get them significantly cheaper. So right now with trade-in, you can get the Tab S7 Plus for $699, which is $150 less than when it first came out. And then you can get the Tab S7 FE. Normally, it is about $500. You can get it for $379, which is pretty cheap. Now, that's a 64 gigabyte 4 gig of RAM option, which I'm not too crazy about. At least you can add extra storage, but yeah, 4 gigs of RAM I think is pretty low, especially in a tablet this size. I really think you ought to get at least a 6. The big thing with price is keep your eyes open. That's how I ended up with this Tab S7 FE in the first place. I wasn't going to buy one. At $500, I don't really like the price. You can get a Tab S7, which is infinitely more powerful and a lot better for productivity, for about $40-50 more. So that's kind of the toss-up I have here. I don't think that you should be paying $500-600 for a big, basically glorified media tablet. So when you look at it, if you can get it under $400, I think it's a fantastic tablet and a really good option. I got mine because there was a flash sale with Samsung. I traded in a Pixel 3 and got $79 trade-in credit. I paid a grand total of like $116 for my Tab S7 FE. Absolutely amazing deal. They even had the Tab S7 Plus. You could have gotten it for like $379 or something crazy. So keep your eyes peeled. If you're watching this before the holiday season, before Black Friday, I fully anticipate the sale or some sort of really good sale to drop back on because they want to get rid of these. Samsung wants to move these tablets because probably at the end of January, early February, they're going to announce the Tab S8 and Tab S8 Ultra. So keep your eyes peeled. Don't spend $500-something on the Tab S7 FE. Definitely don't do it. If you're going to spend $500-600, just bump up, get the Tab S7 Plus anyway. You'll thank me for it later. Or the Tab S7, which is, I think, kind of a better tablet for most people because if you want a high-powered tablet, good for gaming, better for one-handedness, not so gigantic, the 11-inch Tab S7 is a real winner, especially if it's only about $40-50 more than the F7 FE, right? So that's all I'm going to say on price. If you can find it cheap, it's amazing. Don't pay full price for it, and there's great trade-in deals all the time with Samsung. So let's move in and talk about actual performance and specs on these two tablets now. So first things first, we're going to talk about this guy right here. This is the Tab S7 Plus. You may be familiar with it. I've covered it several times. 6-month review, 1-year review, initial review, unboxing. This is the best Android tablet out on the market right now, and it's got everything you could ask for. Snapdragon 865 Plus. It's got 6 or 8 gigs of RAM depending on the configuration. You can get it in 5G or you can get it in Wi-Fi model. One nice thing about the Tab S7 Plus, it's the same chipset regardless. It's not like the Tab S7 FE where if you get 5G, they give you a Snapdragon 750, and if you get Wi-Fi, you get a 778. Yeah, I have a lot of problems with that. But anyway, The Tab S7 Plus, this one has a better camera setup. So on the back, you get a full regular primary 13 megapixel camera and a 5 megapixel ultra wide. And then you get an 8 megapixel selfie camera on the front. This one has a much better camera setup. It also is better at recording video. So if you have any inclination to take pictures or video other than a duo or Zoom call, this right here is going to be where it's at. The Tab S7 Plus also has 4 speakers instead of 2. When you look at the speaker grade on the bottom, you got one on the top, one on the bottom. That's the same on both sides. You get AKG tuned full quad stereo speakers and actually has really, really good sound. On the front, we have a couple of different things you're going to notice here. So you got the power button, fire it up, you look at the screen, you'll notice right there you've got a fingerprint sensor icon. The Tab S7 Plus has a fingerprint sensor built in under the screen. It has facial recognition, and it also has an AMOLED display. So that's one really nice thing that you get with this tablet. The Tab S7 FE has a LCD screen. So if you want those really nice contrast ratios, HDR, high quality content, the good blacks, the best colors, and the best of everything, I mean, it's a really, really beautiful screen, then you're going to want the Tab S7 Plus. The Tab S7 FE also has a 12.4 inch screen. Both of these tablets have Quad HD Plus resolution, but here's the kicker. The Tab S7 Plus has a 120 Hz refresh rate on that beautiful AMOLED screen, whereas with the Tab S7 FE, you get a 60 Hz refresh rate on an LCD screen. But one nice thing about that LCD screen and 60 Hz is you're going to get a lot better battery life. So we'll address that more in a minute. So over here on the Tab S7 Plus, you get a better screen, better speakers, you get a better S Pen. Now the S Pens look kind of identical, but the thing is this is like the Pro S Pen. The S Pen on the Tab S7 Plus, you get the motion gestures, you get the pressure sensitivity, you get a lot more. It's not just a rinky-dink S Pen where, yeah, you can draw, but it doesn't do much more than that. This one, you can enable the camera, you can press and hold it, you can use it from a distance, you can do your air gestures. The Tab S7 Plus is definitely built out with more Pro features. I wish it was called the Pro instead of the Plus. That would really help out a lot right now. The Plus is just kind of an indicator that's got a big screen, which mattered when you had the Tab S7 and the S7 Plus, but now when you have the Tab S7 FE, that is the exact same dimensions, well, Plus doesn't indicate as much as you would think. So the Tab S7 Plus is really the Pro model. It gives you the horsepower. It gives you the ability for multitasking. You're going to get better, faster decks. They both have decks, but the Tab S7 Plus, better decks, better performance, better for multitasking, better for work. You can use the same accessories on both. So if you get the keyboard case, it fits on both of them. Samsung says that it works just fine. You can use the official Samsung keyboard with either one. So it's interchangeable that way, which is nice. So over here, Tab S7 Plus, same battery size, not as good battery life. One, because you're running more horsepower. Two, because you've got the 120 Hz refresh rate on the screen and the AMOLED. All that kind of together sucks up more power. You're going to get better brightness too. So the Tab S7 Plus is a beautiful tablet, better camera setup, better sound, better performance. The memory option and the storage configurations, you can get the Tab S7 FE. Let's talk about that for a second. 64 gigabytes of storage with 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes with 6 gigs of RAM, or 256 and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Having a 4 gigabyte RAM option with the tablet like this, really I think at this point in time is a very, very poor selection, especially with the 64 gigs of storage space. But you can do an expandable SD card in either one. So if you need more storage space, if the baseline is not enough, you're good to go there. Talking about the storage options on the S7 Plus, you get 6 gigs of RAM, which is the bare minimum, I think is okay. 4 is a no-go, but you can get the 128 gigs with 6 gigs of RAM. If you bump it up to 256 or 512, you get 8 gigs of RAM. So both are going to top off at 8, and again, you can throw an SD card in either one. But Tab S7 Plus is fantastic. It's great for work. It's great for a laptop replacement if that's what you're going for. Doing productivity. If you want to do anything multitasking related, I would get the Plus, just because when you get the FE, the Snapdragon 750 or the 778 are okay for day-to-day tasks. And let's go ahead and dive over and talk about this one, because I actually ended up liking this tablet more than I anticipated, but now that's because it's half of what it cost originally. Because for the 5G one, I believe they wanted like $650 straight out of the gate. That's a lot of money. And especially when I knew you could already get the Tab S7 Plus on sale plus trade-in deals. I would never buy the Tab S7 FE at that price, and I recommended people not either when it came out. I believe now it's about $379 on Samsung's website. This is one heck of a tablet for under $400, and I've said that from the get-go. Here's what you get. You get the Snapdragon 778 and the Wi-Fi edition, which is what I have. You get an 8 megapixel camera. There's no wide angle on the back, none of that crazy stuff. It's funny because the camera housing actually looks more kind of professional on this one. It looks kind of like the camera bump on the iPhone 10. And you look over here, you can see the two lenses. But I kind of feel like this one looks a little bit better, more subdued. So 8 megapixel on the back, 5 on the front. And you get the S Pen. So this is like basic S Pen support. The same as I have for like my Fold 3, the Tab S6 Lite. This one doesn't have motion gestures, no pressure sensitivity. It's just a complementary stylus that goes on the back. And of course, both of them magnetically attached to the back and on the sides of the tablet. So you're good to go there. But under $400, this is the best pound for pound normal tablet you can get. Because that Snapdragon 778 for the normal Wi-Fi, very formidable. You can play games on it. You can do some light multitasking. You can use DeX. Again, I really caution you, if you want to run 2 or 3 apps at the same time, if you want to do productivity stuff, go with the Plus. Now, getting back to the FE, 8 megapixel on the back, 5 on the front. You have this really, really nice 12.4-inch LCD screen. It's got a basic 60 hertz refresh rate. You're not getting anything crazy there. But the other thing I like about this, it's very competitive with the new iPads. And you also get the S Pen that comes with it. The S Pen in itself is not that you necessarily need the motion gestures and the wireless button support and all that other crazy stuff. You need something you can interact with the screen. And having the S Pen really elevates the experience on any Samsung tablet. And I wish that the iPads came with them. So yeah, the iPad 10.2, the new one, is actually technically cheaper, but I would still go with this because, one, I like Android. I feel like it's more customizable. I feel like it's more built for work. I feel like the iPad OS is kind of limited in some ways, especially when you get the older tablet style. I like what they've done with this Tab S7 FE, especially under $400. 12.4-inch screen, Quad HD plus resolution. You're not compromising. It's not 1080p. It's not all grainy looking like on the S6 Lite. This is a big boy upgrade when it comes to the screen. And I'm not a big fan of TFT LCD screens, but there's a wide gamut when you look at that. There can be really cheap TFT screens, and there can be much, much better ones. This is definitely on the high end. It looks nice. The color saturation, the brightness is very consistent. The lighting is very even. It's very enjoyable to use. And I think if you pick it up, you're going to be really happy with it. Other downgrades. It only has stereo speakers. Downgrade. There are only 2 speaker ports. So there's one on the bottom or the top, and there's one on the bottom instead of 2 on each side. It still has very good AKG tuned stereo speakers. You're going to get plenty of enjoyable sound experience out of this. It's good for watching movies, good for playing games, great for your Zoom and your Duo calls, and that's what you're going to get with this. You get a much better camera setup on the Tab S7 Plus than you do with this. But this is very, very formidable, and it's going to do what you need it to do. And I think that's the important thing to talk about here. This tablet is made for people who want a tablet. The Tab S7 Plus is made for people who want a laptop replacement, a pro-level tablet, who wanted something like an iPad Pro, but don't want to use an iPad, you prefer to use Android. They're both using One UI. The software experience is great. I enjoy it. One UI is my favorite software experience out there, so it's come a long way. I never really enjoyed using the software on any Samsung product prior to One UI, so I'm glad they have that now. If you've got a Samsung phone, it's nice because you can connect your phone and you can get your text messages and your phone calls on either one of these tablets. So that's really nice. It gives you kind of that feeling like that iPad, Apple, iPhone ecosphere, but with the Samsung. So I like that a lot. So you get a nice screen here. You get good speakers. You get 5G. If you get the 5G model. The 5G model is more expensive, and it has the Snapdragon 750G. It doesn't have the 778. The 778 is like 20 to 40% faster across the board, GPU and power performance. I really feel like they did people a disservice with that. I hate that they charge more money. I hate that they have the 750. It would be much better if they just put the 5G with the 778. That would work out great. But no, they weren't transparent about it. So the Wi-Fi model, I definitely recommend getting. If you get the 5G, it's going to cost you more. It does have more 5G bands, which you're not going to get with the Tab S7 Plus. The Tab S7 Plus does have 5G, but it's last year's 5G, so it doesn't quite have all the same bands Not as thorough, but both of them should be perfectly fine. Both of them have a 10,000 milliamp battery. It's the exact same battery, the exact same housing. They just changed a couple things up. Basically, it's pro level stuff. Tab S7 Plus, you get 4 speakers instead of 2. You get more RAM straight out of the gate. You get much more power, more sophistication, and you get the beautiful 120 hertz Quad HD AMOLED display and the better cameras. So you can see there's a lot there that's different. This right here, the Tab S7 FE, is no slouch. It works nice. It's smooth. As much as I liked the Tab S6 Lite last year, I was really impressed when they came out with that. That enthusiasm at this price point really carries over for me at the S7 FE. S7 FE, I'm happy with the LCD screen. It looks way better than I thought it was going to. I like the S Pen support. I use the basic S Pen with my Fold 3 all the time. It works out great for me. I don't really use air gestures. Most people don't. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you need it, get the Pro. And if you need it, you know that you need it. If you're really big into graphics design, into drawing and things like that, where the pressure sensitivity really matters, go ahead and get the Pro. If you do anything, if you're planning on using this for work, if you're planning on using it for high-end applications, for productivity tasks, for a laptop replacement, for something comparable to the iPad Pro, go do yourself a favor and just get the Tab S7 Plus. But if you just want a good tablet, a big tablet, and that's my thing with these tablets now. 12.4 inch screen. And don't even get me started on next year, because the Ultra is right around the corner, around January, February, I think. They're rumored to have like a really big, like 14 or 16 inch tablet, something crazy gigantic. And I don't even want to know at this point. But these are very, very big, two-handed tablets, but they've got great battery life, especially if you're doing basic tablet tasks. 10,000 milliamp battery, 5G in both of them if you want to get those models. I kind of recommend the Wi-Fi, but if you need a 5G, you know it, go get it. Storage options I think are okay. SD card support for both of them. It really comes down to price point and what you're going to do with it. If you're just using it for browsing the internet and playing some simple games and doing some YouTube and doing your social media stuff, and maybe as a laptop like if you're going to use it for school to type up notes, handwrite notes, you can get away with the Tab S7 FE all day long. If you're going to do work, productivity level work, high caliber, high performance work, you're going to want the Tab S7 Plus. And that's really the best thing that I can say. You can't go wrong with either for the price points. I think it's $699 or less, especially if you can trade something in. You can find some good deals on the Tab S7 Plus. Pay attention. This is being made before Black Friday. You could be watching this months down the road and life could be different then. But if you're watching this before Black Friday, before the holiday specials, keep your eyes peeled, because they already had some really good specials the other day. That's how I got my Tab S7 FE. I never intended to buy one, but they had a sale. It was like a one-night sale. They dropped it down. I got $350 trade-in credit for a Pixel 3. I ended up paying $116 for this tablet after trade-in. So I have no complaints there, but I've been very happy with it. It's impressed me at the price point. Again, at $600, $550, I would not recommend anyone buy this, just because you can get the Tab S7 or the Tab S7 Plus for so much closer in price. I feel like it was one of those things where it was a cash grab, where they threw it out there for the first couple of people, hit them overhead with the price point, and then they know it's not going to keep selling for that, especially the S8 is right around the corner. Why would you come out with the S7 FE a month or two before the S8 is going to come out, right? So this is a good option. If you're a kid, if you're in college, if you get this for a teenager, if you want something that's going to give you all the basics, but give you some fun, give you some sophistication, you don't have a cheap Android tablet, you get plenty of power with the Snapdragon 778. The 750 is okay. It is. It's just overpriced for what it is. Tab S7 FE is a good tablet. And then just last but not least, again, the Tab S7 Plus. Everything you could ask for. Pro level stuff. Enjoyable to use, zippy, much more high caliber gaming on this. If you're going to play Fortnite, if you're going to play stuff maxed out, if you want to enjoy that 120 hertz refresh rate, it's really enjoyable. And that's right here on the Tab S7 Plus. So I think I've kind of canvassed these enough. We've talked about the specs. We've talked about the battery life. It's going to get you through pretty much a regular business day. You don't really have any problems with battery life. Performance is good. The screens, I think I've covered pretty much everything. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I've talked a lot about both of these tablets. Hopefully I didn't confuse y'all too much. With the back and the forth, I really tried to identify them clearly and the talking points in this video. But that's all I've got. If you have any specific questions or comments, things you want to know about, things that you're curious, go down to the comment section. We'll talk about it there. Also, I'm just going to throw it out there. Yes, they both have Bluetooth. Yes, you can listen to your music that way with your wireless earbuds and your earphones. They don't have headphone jacks. You can use a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter dongle and listen to your wired headphones or earbuds that way. So if you've got that, go ahead. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Solid options. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.